Hi everybody, it's Diane from California Tea and Herbal, and today we're going to do another tea recipe. We're going to do a slow cooked pot roast in the oven, and we're going to substitute the usual liquid for Puerh ginger tea. So let's get started. It was a lot of fun. We've already tasted it. It was delicious, so it's kind of a retro intro. Let's go see what happened. All right. Brown your roast, whether pork, beef, or lamb, in a skillet, and make sure you get it brown on each side, and then we will go to the next step. Alright, the next step is to add our vegetables to the pan, and I like to use carrots and onions, not so much celery, but some people like to add celery. And then we actually enjoy eating these vegetables. We do not discard them at the end. So on seasoning the vegetables, I like to add a little bit of soy sauce instead of salt. Not a lot, just to add a little bit of saltiness. And then I also add some dried basil in here and some garlic powder and lots of black pepper. And so we'll let these saute, and then we will go on to the next step. Alright, as you can see, our vegetables now have been sauteed. They're the perfect stage, and I'm going to put them over the top of the roast, and then I'll show you what happens next. Alright, our next step is to deglaze the pan, and this is the fun part. I'm going to have to hold this so I don't totally fog it up. But we're going to deglaze it with some of this Puerh ginger tea. And of course, I used, to cover the roast, we want to cover the roast with liquid, and so I actually made 4 cups of Puerh tea. And so after we have deglazed the pan, and I like to scrape, let me get my spatula, I'm going to scrape and get the pan totally deglazed, and then I'm going to pour this over the roast and vegetables. Alright, I have now poured that liquid that I used to deglaze the pan and the rest of the Puerh tea over the top of the roast and vegetables, and it should just about cover the roast. Now this is not quite covered, but I'm going to turn it halfway through at the probably hour point, and so this will be plenty. And now I'm going to cover it and put it into a preheated 300-degree oven, and it will be 1 hour per pound, so it's a slow roast. Friends, this is new to me, doing cooking videos, and I left out a step, and that is, after you've got your vegetables and your roast and your Puerh tea in the pan, add some chopped tomatoes. Why, you may ask? Because that acid in the tomatoes will help break down the tissue in that usually tougher cut of meat that we use for pot roast. So be sure and add your chopped tomatoes, and then you will put it in the oven. And so it just came out of the oven at 1 hour per pound. Doesn't this look delicious? So now I'm going to let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then we will plate, and we will also reduce this beautiful Puerh ginger broth. Now if you want to, you can add some gravy mix, but I'll probably thicken it with a little cornstarch. But next time you see it, we'll have the broth, and we'll have everything ready to plate. So friends, this is how it turned out. Our pork roast, slow roasted, and instead of your usual liquid, we put in the Puerh ginger loose tea infusion. So next time you do a roast, whether it's even chicken, beef, lamb, or pork, try using Puerh ginger tea and just see the added flavor that you are going to have. And now I'm going to cut into this roast. I've got the puer broth over it. It's juicy. It just looks amazing. So excuse me, I'm going to go serve this for dinner. And thanks so much for watching. Before I start eating, I wanted to show you sliced how beautiful this is. It is absolutely moist and succulent, and the puer it gives it that extra flavor, but believe me, it's not overpowering. But just look at this beautiful, juicy, wonderful roast with the puer sauce over the top. Beautiful, and a real success, let's say. Another tea recipe success. I hope you try it. Okay friends, the sun is actually starting to go down and I'm losing light here, so I want to say thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy this recipe and you'll try it. The whole recipe is down below in description. And I want to ask you to please subscribe, like, and tell your friends and tea curious and tea loving people you know about our channel.